The sun was dipping low, casting long shadows over our quiet suburban street, when I heard a scream that froze my blood. It was my daughter, Lily, her voice raw with panic. I dropped the dish I was washing and bolted outside, my heart pounding. What I saw made my stomach churn. My 12-year-old girl, her frail legs trembling, was being dragged behind a golf cart, a rope biting into her wrist. The driver? Mrs. Helen Carter, our HOA president, who everyone in the neighborhood called the enforcer behind her back. All this over a bird feeder Lily had hung on our oak tree, a gift from her grandpa, to cheer her up after being bullied at school for her disability. Lily was born with weak legs, making every step a battle. She'd always loved birds, and her therapist said watching them helped ease the sadness that clung to her like a shadow. That bird feeder was her little slice of joy. But to Mrs. Carter, it was a violation of HOA rules, a crime worthy of this cruel punishment. Neighbors stood on their lawns, mouths agape, as Lily stumbled, her face streaked with tears. "Stop!" I screamed, sprinting toward them. "She can't walk fast. She's disabled." Mrs. Carter barely glanced back, her voice cold as steel. "Rules are rules, Sarah. Your daughter didn't get approval for that feeder. There's a due law, $200 fine." I reached Lily just as Mrs. Carter stopped the cart. My girl collapsed, sobbing, her knees scraped and hands bruised. I untied the rope, wincing at the angry red marks on her wrist. "I'm sorry, Mom," Lily whispered. I didn't know it wasn't allowed. My blood boiled, but I held her close, shielding her from the woman stepping out of the cart in her pristine white blazer and oversized sunglasses. Mrs. Carter waved a rule book like a weapon. "Remove the feeder by tomorrow, or the fines increase," she snapped, then sped off, Leah VYing us in the dust. That night, after icing Lily's wrist and tucking her into bed, I sat with my husband, Mike, at the kitchen table. My hands shook as I showed him the photos I'd taken Lily's injuries, her tear-streaked face. "We moved here because they said it was safe for kids like her," I said, my voice breaking. Mike's jaw tightened. "We're calling the police. No one hurts our daughter," and walks away. The next morning, Officer Daniels arrived, his face softening as he spoke to Lily. He photographed her injuries and took her statement, promising to follow up. Then our doorbell rang. It was Mrs. Thompson from next door, her eyes blazing. "I saw everything," she said, pulling out her phone. I recorded it. Her videos were damning. Mrs. Carter tying Lily to the cart, ignoring her cries, DRI VYing faster as she struggled. Mrs. Thompson wasn't alone. By day's end, 5 neighbors stopped by, each with their own tale of Mrs. Carter's tyranny. She'd forced the Nguyen family to dismantle their son's swing set because it clashed with the aesthetic. She'd fined Mrs. Patel for planting roses without permission. This wasn't just about Lily, it was a pattern. But Mrs. Carter wasn't done. A week later, a letter from the HOA arrived, slapping us with a due law $500 fine for disturbing the community and slandering her. Mike crumpled it in his fist. "She's trying to bury us because we called the cops." We met with a lawyer, Ms. Rivera, who didn't mince words. Mrs. Carter's actions are illegal child endangerment, disability discrimination, false imprisonment. You've got videos, witnesses, and a strong case. She leaned forward, her eyes fierce. She's been untouchable because of her City Hall buddies, but this time, she's gone too far. We didn't just want justice for Lily. We wanted to ensure no other kids suffered like this. The next Monday, the HOA meeting was our battleground. Normally, it was a ghost town with Mrs. Carter steamrolling her agenda. Not tonight. The community center was packed, the air electric with anger. Mrs. Carter, perched at the head table, looked rattled as she banged her gavel. "Before we begin, I address the lies about my rule enforcement." "Point of order." Mr. Nguyen stood, his voice steady. "Our bylaws allow an emergency vote to remove a board member if enough homeowners agree." Mrs. Carter's face flushed crimson. "That's not on the agenda." Neither was dragging my disabled daughter down the street. I shot back, standing tall. The room went silent. "I'm Sarah Collins. Last week, Mrs. Carter tied my 12-year-old to her golf cart over a bird feeder. Lily begged her to stop. She didn't. I held up my phone, showing photos of Lily's injuries. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Mike stood beside me. We have VY Deos from multiple neighbors. Mrs. Thompson rose. I move we vote to remove Mrs. Carter and audit her fines from the past 2 years. Mr. Larson, a retired judge, spoke up. The bylaws are clear. Board members who harm the community can be removed. Dragging a child qualifies. Mrs. Carter's gavel slammed repeatedly. This is outrageous. But the vote was swift 58-3. Only she, her cousin, and her best friend voted to keep her. As she gathered her things, I approached. This isn't over, she hissed. I have connections. I met her gaze. You're right. The police are investigating, we're suing you, and reporters are outside. Your connections won't help you now. In the weeks that followed, the tide turned. The district attorney charged Mrs. Carter with child abuse and endangerment. Her City Hall allies distanced themselves as news cameras swarmed. Our lawsuit grew, with neighbors adding their own grievances. Lily's story went viral, shared by disability advocacy groups. She even spoke at a school about standing up to bullies, her voice stronger each day. One evening, as we watched birds from our porch, Lily asked, "Do other places have people like Mrs. Carter?" I sighed. Probably. But they also have people like Mrs. Thompson and Mr. Nguyen, who fight for what's right. 6 months later, on a bright spring day, I watched Lily teach a group of kids how to hang bird feeders in our backyard. The new HOA board, led by Mrs. Thompson, had not only allowed feeders, but launched a bird sanctuary program. Families across the neighborhood planted flowers and put up feeders, earning a wildlife award. Lily, her leg braces painted with colorful sparrows, beamed as she explained seed types to her new friends. Your daughter's incredible, Mr. Larson said, hammering a birdhouse. She turned something awful into something beautiful. Lily's physical wounds had healed, but therapy helped with the nightmares. Mrs. Carter's case wrapped up. Community Care VYC with disabled kids, mandatory fairness training, and a hefty settlement for Lily's medical costs. Best of all, our state passed Lily's law protecting disabled people from HOA discrimination. A reporter VY citing our sanctuary asked, "How did your community change?" I smiled, watching Lily point out a cardinal to a giggling kid. We learned that one bully can cause pain, but a community standing together can create miracles. What do you think, did Mrs. Carter deserve harsher punishment, or was her sentence fair? Should HOAs have the power to enforce rules like this? Or are they too controlling? Could your neighborhood rally like ours did? Or would fear keep people silent? Drop your thoughts below. Hit that like button if this story moved you. And subscribe for more real-life dramas that spark change.